pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Can we have a roll call, Janet?
Mr. Bova?
Here.
Mrs. Cerucci?
Here.
Mr. Gottman?
Here.
Dr. Kelkstein?
Here.
Mr. Lapsevich?
Here.
Mr. McIntyre?
Present.
Mr. Ritter?
Here.
Mrs. Warning?
Here.
Mr. Williams?
Here.
Did anybody sign up in advance for comments on agenda items? Is there anyone in the audience who would like to speak on agenda items only? Seeing none. Mr. Schott, Section B, Bills and Financial Reports.
Thank you, Mrs. Ricci. Section B. This evening we have Section B1 list of bills for the month of June 2019. Section B2 monthly financial statements for the month of May 2019. And Section B3 budget transfers for the month of June 2019. We present these sections this evening for the board's review. And please note, as we've done previously, we will present another list of bills, additional list of bills for next Tuesday's meeting, as well as an additional list of budget transfers too.
Anybody have any questions, comments for Mr. Schott on Section B? Seeing none, Mrs. Crump, Section D, Personnel.
Thank you, Mr. Rucci. The items that we have listed are for Tuesday, June 18th. At this current time, we have 1 resignation listed, 3 leaves of absence, 2 transfers per the collective bargaining agreement, 1 recommendation for employment, early literacy program, and a supplemental contracts for 1920, and also there's 2 additional ones for 1819, and we have 2 volunteers presented.
Great. Anyone have any questions for Mrs. Crump?
Yeah, I got a question.
Go ahead, Mr. Lapsevich.
On this employment, I think it has to do with Mr. Brown on a new hire, Greg Morelli. Do we go, where is he coming from, for one thing?
North Allegheny School District.
Okay. Did we put this internally?
Yes.
I'm,
Can you go to the microphone, Mr. Brown, can you take the microphone, please?
He loves that.
Thank you, Mr. Williams.
Yes, Mr. Lapsevich, we did post it internally as well.
okay, how many, did we have any applicants internally?
One.
1 interview for the job?
Yes,
And as a general maintenance worker, you felt he wasn't
not as qualified. as
qualified
Mr.
for a
Morelli.
general maintenance job?
Not as Mr. Morelli.
Okay, I don't know if I can ask this. How old is Mr. Morelli?
No,
You
did
can't
not
ask that. You
I'm
cannot
sorry.
ask that.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Just say,
He prefaced it with, I don't know if I can ask.
We all
Be
let you
fair.
know.
Be fair.
Here to help.
Yeah, me
Fine.
too.
Want to get in trouble.
I know. Sorry on
Any
that.
other questions?
It's fair to say, Mr. Brown, that age was not a factor in the hiring, correct? Thank you.
Okay, so he was your best pick then?
Yes.
Okay, that's all I have to ask.
Thank you, Mr. Brown.
Any other questions for Mrs. Crump or Mr. Brown on Section B?
thank you very much.
Sorry.
Section E.
Section E, Conferences and Conventions. I'm there. Is that Dr. Chapey?
Thank you, Ms. Rucci. The items we have listed for this evening are for June 18th. We have 3 conferences, 3 individuals to attend the conference, National Autism Conference at Penn State. We have 1 person attending the 2019 SNAPA Annual Conference, and 1 person attending the International Society for Technology in Education Conference.
Any questions for Dr. Chapey on Section E? Seeing none, let's move on to Section F, Administration Report. We do have an action item here. Who would like to take this, Dr. Short?
Mr. Schott.
Thank you, Dr. Short. Resolved, the Gateway Board of School Directors approves and authorizes as appropriate the following items 1 and 2 as listed in Section F, Administrative Report Action Agenda at the study session meeting of Tuesday, June 11, 2019. Specifically, item number 1, is to approve the district's participation in the Forbes Road Career and Technology Center's 2019-2020 fiscal year revenue anticipation note in the amount of $4,400,000 with an interest rate of 2.95% as depicted in Exhibit A. And also item number 2, approve the renewals and premium payments for the following applicable district insurance coverage policies for the 1920 fiscal year as listed below. Please note the above insurance policies are being renewed through the CM Regent Insurance Company, with the exception of the workers' compensation insurance, which is through Brick Street Insurance Company, and the violent and malicious acts insurance, which is through Lloyd's of London.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Schott, I'm sure the answer to this is obvious, but this is all accounted for in the budget that we're looking at tonight.
Most certainly,
Correct?
most
Thank you.
certainly. And when these actual premiums came in, we were able to actually make some adjustments downward based
like
on
that direction.
our exposure. Yes, we like that tremendously. And again, our insurance broker also went to bat for the district as well when working with these insurance providers and seeing what they could do to squeeze them based on what they've been seeing, based on some of our historical claims and some of those things along those lines.
Very good, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions for Mr. Schott? Okay, roll call, Janet.
Mrs. Cerucci?
Aye.
Mr. Gottman?
Aye.
Dr. Kalkstein? Aye. Mr. Lapsevich?
Aye.
Mr. McIntyre?
Aye.
Mr. Ritter?
Aye.
Mrs. Warning? Aye. Mr. Williams?
Aye.
Mr. Bova?
Aye.
Thank you. Motion carries. Now we have Section F, items for discussion only.
Mr. Russell.
Number 1, enhancing early literacy, approve the participation of Dr. Cleveland Stewart Elementary School in enhancing early literacy outcomes within tiered system of support cohort for the 1920 school year. This is similar to what Mosside did last year. I believe there's a $10,000 stipend for our participation in that. Number 2, approve the following professional service agreements as listed.
Item number 3, facility agreements, USA Swim Meet hosted by the Marlins in the sports complex. Also, WPA Beekeepers in Gateway School District Performing Arts Center.
Financial report.
Thank you, Dr. Short. Item number 4, approve the increase in the price of all elementary and secondary student school lunches by 10 cents and the increase in the price of all elementary and secondary student school breakfast by 5 cents for the 1920 fiscal year to ensure the district's compliance with Section 205 of the Healthy Hunger-Free Kids Act of 2010 as follows and listed below. Item number 5, approve and adopt the final cafeteria fund budget for the 1920 fiscal year in the amount of $1,960,000, reflecting an increase in expenditures of $2,000 or 0.102% more than the cafeteria fund budget for the 18-19 fiscal year. Please note the district has budgeted for the utilization of 0 retained earnings, which is the cafeteria fund equivalent of fund balance, the balance of 1920 fiscal year cafeteria fund budget. The district will not be required to utilize any general fund contributions in order to balance the 1920 fiscal year cafeteria fund budget. Item number 6, approve and adopt the final general fund budget for the 1920 fiscal year in the amount of $77,312,000, reflecting an increase in expenditures of $2 million or 2.66% greater than the general fund budget for the 18-19 fiscal year. The final general fund budget does not include an increase in the district's real estate tax millage rate. Thus, the real estate tax millage rate would remain at 19.8675 mils for the 1920 fiscal year. The 19.8675 mils is the equivalent of $1.98675 on each $100 of assessed valuation of taxable real estate property in the district. Please note, the district will be required to utilize unassigned fund balance in the total amount of $840,000, which is comprised of $494,000 for the remaining deficit and $346,000 for new copiers to balance the general fund budget for the 1920 fiscal year. Additional unassigned fund balance from the general fund is projected to be utilized to fund the capital reserve fund budget through expenditure transfers for the 1920 fiscal year in the total amount of $1,504,000. Thus, the total projected utilization of unassigned fund balance in the general fund for 1920 fiscal year is $2,344,000. Item number 7 is approval of the homestead farmstead exclusion real estate tax assessment reduction for 2019. Essentially, in summary, every eligible homestead property located in the municipality of Monroeville in the borough of Pitcairn would each receive a total reduction in assessed value on their real estate tax bill and the net and dollar amount of $181.04, which is the equivalent of assessed value of $9,112.37. Again, this is the 12th year in a row the district's been able to pass along gaming monies to those eligible homesteads. This is net neutral for the district in terms of any gains from this, purely a pass-through. Item number 8, approve the payment of all applicable district bills by the business manager for the month of July 2019 in accordance with board policy number 616 via Section B, one list of bills for the month of July 2019. Please note the list of bills will be compiled and emailed to the board for review on July 23rd. The board will have until the close of business on July 30th to review the list of bills and to ask any questions regarding the payments. The vendor check payments would then be mailed to the vendors on July 31st, similar to what we've done in prior years. Item number 9, approve the extension of the current liquid propane gas, auto gas equipment and pricing agreement, and the national propane supply agreement with Feral Gas for the purchase of liquid propane gas to fuel the district's contracted school buses with Student Transportation of America for an additional term length beginning on July 1st, 2020 through June 30th, 2021, with a final fixed price rate to be determined based on the current market conditions. Please note the selection of exact lock-in fixed price rate will be monitored and determined by both representatives of the district and Feral Gas subsequent to approval of this resolution. The district's upcoming fixed price rate is at $1.35 per gallon from July 1st, 2019 through June 30th, 2020 with Feral Gas. Item number 10, accept the following district donations received during the 18-19 fiscal year, specifically related to the University Park backpack program. We have donors and items consisting of the following: Costco Wholesale, $200 check; Temple David, various non-perishable food items; Gateway High School Gator Cafe, $500 in non-perishable food; University Park PTO, box of animal crackers and fruit. Item number 11, approve the preliminary allocation amounts of federal title funds for the 1920 fiscal year for the following programs and the following amounts as indicated below. Item number 12, approve the agreement for the district's continued participation in the Pennsylvania Department of Human Services administered school-based access program in accordance with the terms and applicable fees for the 1920 fiscal year, and that exhibit is to follow, but it is anticipated to be very similar to the exhibit and the fees that the district is incurring during the current 18-19 fiscal year. We hope to be able to receive that actual document and be able to place that on the agenda as a formal exhibit. Since there is no formal meeting scheduled in July, that's the reason why we're bringing this forward as we've done previously, so we can get this document signed and get it back to them in a very timely manner so we're not delinquent. Item number 13, approve the district's purchases and payments for the following department items during the 18-19 fiscal year, specifically for the technology department purchases. First item is from the vendor Firefly Computers, 700 new Chromebooks with extended warranty purchased through CoStars in the amount of $214,730. Apple Inc., 60 new iPads at a cost of $23,640. 2 new Apple TVs at the cost of $298. Jamp, 2700 Casper Suite, maintenance support renewal for some of the operating software in the amount of $27,245. STS Education, 600 of the Go Guardian software in the amount of $9,000. Tangent, Data Cove email archiving for 5 years in the amount of $8,914. Amplified IT, domain support for 1 year, $4,422. AGI Repair, 60 iPad cases with extended warranty for the new iPads for $4,140. Mosul Corporation, subscription to Mosul Management MDM 1 year trial, $385. Total purchases, $292,774. Please note, the above items will be purchased and paid for during the 18-19 fiscal year instead of during the 19-20 fiscal year to reduce expenditures in the 19-20 fiscal year general fund budget. Item number 14, approve the district's sale of obsolete and damaged technology department equipment consisting of approximately 223 iPads and 20 MacBook Airs to AGI Repair, an estimated total sale proceeds amount to be received in the range of as low as $5,055 to as high as $14,425, to be determined based on the actual quantities, conditions and grading of the devices by AGI Repair. Note the above sale of obsolete and damaged technology department equipment will help to offset the cost of the new technology department equipment to be purchased during the 18-19 fiscal year. It is anticipated the district will receive higher amounts per piece for obsolete technology equipment based on the protective cases utilized by the district, which help to protect the devices from excessive wear and tear. And finally, item number 15, award the copier services request for proposal to AMCOM, who met the district's copier and printing specifications for the purchase of new copiers and printers through PEPM in the amount of $283,537.15, and a required buyout of the current Conica Minolta lease in the amount of $61,841.45 during the 1920 fiscal year, and with continued monthly copier service and repairs to be handled by AMCOM during subsequent 5 fiscal years, consisting of 2019-2020 through 2023-2024 at the maintenance agreement rates as depicted in Exhibit D. Please note, the district is purchasing the new copiers and paying the lease buyout from unassigned fund balance during the 1920 fiscal year in order to provide subsequent fiscal year expenditure reductions in future general fund budgets, as well as to provide future flexibility and much greater options for the utilization of the purchased equipment.
Yeah, take a drink of water, brother. That was a lot.
Open up the floor for discussion, questions.
I got lots of questions.
Go ahead, Mr. Altman.
All right, where to start first? I guess we'll start on number 15 since that's where we ended. I know at the last budget meeting we talked about buying new copiers and the benefits of having them because we wouldn't have to pay, the money per year. But my only question is not the technology of it, but I do need you here for another question. But what would happen if we waited till the lease was up instead of buying out the lease now?
We would end up paying more money, essentially.
Like, what we say, it was like an extra 15,000 or something.
Yeah, so from July 1st to February, we'll be paying the lease payments, insurance on those lease payments, as well as the maintenance agreement from Conica. The fee per page from AMCOM is actually lower than what we're paying Conica, and Conica has a minimum number of monochrome pages. So even if we don't copy that much, as in we just disconnect the copiers, we still have to guarantee them a certain amount every month. So we end up losing in that scenario.
Okay, so if we remember the lease, the payments would exceed the $61,000?
If we were to use Conica from July to February, yes.
Okay, all right. And then, so here, I'll put the last one for you with number 13 with the technology stuff with the Chromebooks and the iPads. If I remember last year around this time over in the LGI, we voted on $300,000 for, I think it was the new iPads. I think we may have cut that back, but unless I missed something, what happened between then and now where we're now seeing requests for an additional almost $300,000 for more?
So I would not look at it as additional. We're shifting things around. So what happened last year is we changed from iPads to Chromebooks, and we only purchased a fraction. What we did purchase last year is going to be shifted to the high school, and all the new devices will be going to Gateway Middle School. That's to unify that entire building. So in a one-to-one environment, you have all the kids on one platform, one device, so it can be easily traded out. So we're not necessarily adding, we're just moving things around so this building is more consistent.
Okay, and I do remember in the report you mentioned that with all the Chromebooks shifting from one school to the other, they all would be able to function in sync?
Yeah. So at the high school level, the classes are so different and the devices will remain in the classroom, so it's not as important from class to class that they remain the same. But in the case of Gateway Middle School, the kids will be keeping the device all day long, so we want to give them that consistent experience all day.
All right, what about security? Like say, because it's probably bound to happen that a kid walks out with one of the Chromebooks. Is there a way to locate that the same way we can locate an iPad?
Not the same way. There's not as an advanced tracking feature in Chromebooks. However, they are set up so if a Chromebook does get wiped, it's forced to check back in to our Google account. That being said, if it's stolen by someone outside the district, they won't be able to authenticate. They won't be able to use the Chromebook. If a student logs in when they're at home, we will be able to see that they logged in at home and in general where they are.
Okay. And just my last question for us is, where are we using these new Apple TVs?
That will be in the Family Consumer Science Department at the high school. They have 2 sets of iPads right now. Because we're replacing those iPads, they would need a new Apple TV to project those devices onto their screens.
There's no other TVs that can project?
So Apple TV is it's a little box on top of this projector. It's what actually receives the signal from an iPad. They have an older model that would work, but it disconnects continuously and needs reset a lot. This will just make it more reliable.
Okay. All right, that's actually all my questions involving technology.
Anybody else have anything for Michael?
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you.
Okay, and then the last set of questions go to the section 6 for the general fund. I was going through some items in the budget, and some things were kind of just popping up to me that, you know, would like some clarity. Some of these areas I'm not an expert with it, so if anyone has more insight, let me know. One item was for the description as officials, with the explanation being necessary needed workers for performing sporting events. We have that lined out at $38,000. What exactly is that for?
That's all sporting
Yeah,
event
that-
officials, I would imagine.
That would be a line item for.
There's 2 line items. There's actually for the high school and the Gateway Middle School that actually details out all of those items.
Because I saw, yeah, because there's
Except
one,
for umpires and referees.
Umpires, referees, for all of our sporting events.
yeah, I saw the sections with it, and then there's just that one page with it lumped together.
So
Have
are
it
they
up.
broken out by
Yeah,
high
that's-
school and by middle school, maybe?
And it's
Is that
based
what
on what we've done in previous years, right? It's a projection, it's a projected
Yeah,
number.
projected.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
And we've actually, just since we're on athletics, we've cut a significant amount of items out and trimmed athletics from the initial presentation of that budget. And even have shifted additional items from the 19-20 budget into 18-19 based on current unexpended funds in there as well. So, you know, even there's a new total, a new detail out there that shows that number, that total number you're looking at from the last snapshot we sent out has contracted quite a bit even further for that too. So we've definitely cut back athletics, no doubt about it.
All right. Well, my last 2, unfortunately, still stuck with athletics, because again, these are just sticking out to me. Transportation, they seem to vary between sports. I know the teams vary in sizes. You know, football being $8,000, and then you drop down to, you know, like baseball's $4,000. But something came interesting is basketball. Boys cost $6,000, girls cost $5,000.
I think some of those are based off of
Number of
where they're going for the
events.
competitions. What I actually did, I actually right-sized that. I want to say I cut and reviewed that. It was probably, I want to say $40,000 or $44,000. And what I actually did, I looked at the prior complete 17-18 fiscal year, 18-19 fiscal year, and was able to shave those amounts based on historically what I was seeing for that. I didn't want to just look at 1 year, maybe there was some competition, like we'll use, for instance, we wouldn't want to look at, say, last year's when we went to Albert Gallatin and know that we're not going to go to Albert Gallatin, you know, since they're not going to fill the team. So we definitely did right-size some of those. And again, I didn't investigate all the nuances going into those, but I tried to keep each of the totals for each sport consistent with what we've incurred previously for that.
Every
So
2 years, the WPIL realigns the sections, and I can definitely recall that with basketball. I believe they kind of rescheduled neighboring school districts like Woodland Hills, Penn Hills, close proximity, to really help with the transportation.
Okay. And last question, with uniforms, I know that there's a couple sports that we annually rotate them out. Like with golf, you know, replacing the polos. I know that's not a strenuous sport and not much wear and tear on the polos. So just kind of curious why we replace them every year.
I mean,
That's like a personal shirt.
Yeah, we do
Yeah,
not collect those.
If you saw my golf shirt after 18 holes, I don't think there's enough wash in the world for you to want to wear it.
Also, this is like I have one. That's their polo.
Yeah, that's theirs, they keep that. After a season's worth of golf, it's just,
Nobody would want that.
nobody would want that.
Be like swim trunks.
Yes.
We do replace those every year, too.
Yeah, I didn't know what they
Thank
were
you, Mr.
designing.
Shaw.
Good questions. Good questions.
Yeah, that's all I had.
It's good you're going through all the line items. Just a quick question for Mr. Brown. I don't think you have to get up for this one, but the WPA beekeepers, the fee, is that in line with what it was last year? Was there an increase, a
There's
decrease?
some changes, they added a few rooms.
Okay.
And it's just an estimate.
The way it came down, because I know last year there was an increase and there was some from the year before. But last year, I think we felt like we hit the right number.
It's, they keep tweaking it and growing a little
All right.
bit and changing it. It is just an estimate, so.
We had sat down with Mr. Yakum
Oh,
last
yeah,
year.
they were extremely
Yeah.
happy with the
Okay.
numbers we've been working with for them.
Okay, good.
So, and he was, they were.
Because I know that it's a popular event. It brings a lot of people to Monroeville, so I'm happy
And
to, I'm happy that we're hosting it
Very pleased
again.
with the facilities and everything that we had offered, so.
All right, my other question, the cafeteria fund budget, just to put this in layman's terms, Mr. Schott, from what I'm reading from this, is what this means is that the district, or the cafeteria department, or food department, feeds basically every kid in the district, employs however many number of people with salary and benefits, and it is of a zero net cost to the district,
Self-supporting.
self-supporting
It's
100%.
considered an enterprise fund as a separate business entity.
Okay, so they cost the district nothing, and they actually have not had to use their own fund balance to balance this year.
This is the first in terms of the budgeting process. It's just another further indication that they are doing, they're a very healthy fund in terms of the services they're providing to the students of the district.
Thank you very much.
Did the big cookies come back?
No big cookies yet.
If the big cookies came back, we would be turning a lot more profit.
We need the Healthy Hunger-Free Kids Act to go away for the big cookies to come back. But I don't think that's gonna happen.
Contact your legislator.
Yeah.
Anybody else? Nobody else? Speak now, or forever hold your peace.
No, you said you were gonna do it. You got nothing? Okay.
I missed something? Do you have anything else, Mr. McIntyre?
No.
Okay, well, there's always next week. We have one more section, I'm not there. Resolution by board members, section G. Anybody want to take that? If not, I'll just summarize.
I'll take it.
Good.
Resolution of the Gateway School District awarding a bonus of $5,000 to Dr. William Short, Superintendent of Gateway School District. Now therefore be resolved and enacted that this, whatever day we sign this, a $5,000 bonus is hereby awarded to Dr. Short payable on June 30th, 2019. All resolutions or parts of resolutions which are inconsistent herewith are hereby repealed. In any section, clause, provision, or portion of this resolution shall be held invalid or unconstitutional by any court of competent jurisdiction. Such decision shall not affect any other section, clause, provision, or portion of this resolution, so long as it remains legally enforceable minus the invalid portion. That's a lot of words.
Okay.
And
Questions,
then we
comments?
just need to make one adaptation on that. That needs to be the 28th instead of the 30th. That's the last pay in June.
Okay.
28th. Got that, Janet? Basically, the board has the job of reviewing our superintendent, and when he goes above and beyond his expectations, we have the authority to give him a performance bonus, and that's what we've decided to do. So congratulations and thank you for your hard work.
No. Thank you.
Well, we didn't vote
I know.
We didn't vote on
on it. Don't take us yet.
Karen.
Next week.
President say congratulations.
All right, section 11, it's not really a section. Are there any comments on non-agenda items from residents this evening? Seeing none. Let's go to reports. Dr. Short.
Wrapped up another school year. Wonderful indoor ceremony, graduation.
Unfortunately.
However, by all accounts, it went very well. Had a lot of positive feedback. Kids were excited to receive their diplomas, and it's a wonderful experience, and it just caps off a tremendous academic school year. Seeing our graduates meet that requirement and walk off the stage with their diploma
I would be remiss in not thanking everyone who helped out with the ceremony. Mr. Brown, your staff. I know we were in and out the day before. Weather was unbelievable during that 2-day stretch. We finally decided to pull the plug outdoor and go indoors, and a lot of work. Plum School District, who we called on a whim, and they had a floor covering that they were able to loan to us. I appreciate their efforts in that, and Janet and everyone else assisting up at the high school. It's a process, I will just say that, but it's one that we take very seriously, and we want to make it very special for the students and the parents and the families. I have a wonderful staff here, and I thank them for everything that they have done over the course of this school year.
Well said. Mrs. Bungard?
Nothing at this time, thank you.
Dr. Chaky?
Nothing further, thank you.
Dr. Rossi?
Nothing at this time.
Mr. Schott?
Nothing further, thank you.
Mrs. Crum?
Yes, we will be anticipating some positions being posted, so watch our website, PA Educator. They will not go up until June the 20th, so apply through there and keep watching.
Great. Mr. Ritter?
We had 2 events recently that were recorded and are being broadcast not only on the local cable access stations, but they're posted to the district's website. That's the senior graduation and the seniors awards and grants. So thank you very much, Dr. Short, for looking into that and getting that accomplished. Good job.
Thank you.
Awesome.
That's all I have.
Mrs. Warning?
I'm going to try to be under 5 minutes. I just want to congratulate all our 2019 graduates and from Gateway, and also the graduates from Sunrise. I had to leave our budget meeting to attend their graduation, and it was a very emotional event that I'm glad I went. Also, congratulations to Pitt Karen on her 125th anniversary. They had a very nice parade and a lot of nice events that were going on this past Saturday. To all our retirees, a special thank you for all that you have done your years here at Gateway. You're going to be very hard to replace. So enjoy your retirement, and we will miss you guys. Mr. McIntyre, you made the comment about our weight room. I did talk to some administrators, not Dr. Short, but we're probably going to utilize our new updated weight room for phys ed classes and health classes. So it will be used more than just for the weights. Also, reminder for all fall sports. All physicals need to be turned into the athletic office by July 29th. You can pick up the forms at the high school, at Gateway Middle School, and at the athletic office. They are open Mondays through Thursdays, 8 to 3. And make sure all your packets are in by July 29th. If you have any questions, please call the athletic office. Mr. Brown, if I can ask you a question, if you can come up to the real quick question. I was at the council meeting this past Thursday, and they were questioning about why they cannot use the pool since they are closing Bel Air Pool next year. And they were saying that Gateway does not allow them to use the pool during the summer. And officially, I know why, but I think it would be coming from you would be the reason
In the
why.
summer,
Yes.
we clean our facilities. We clean that area as well. We don't have the staff to man it and clean up after everybody coming into buildings to do that. So we close it because it's used every other day of the year. We need time for our maintenance and such. Right now, we have the pumps tore apart. There are things that need to be done. And we make it available all during the school year. So for that short period of time in the summer while we have to do all of our maintenance and cleaning, we close the pool.
I knew that, I just didn't want to, say it, so thank you for putting it out there. And also, one other thing, thank you to all the people behind the scenes that got the graduation up and running. And I think everybody knows who they are. And that's it.
Thank you, Mrs. Warning. Mr. Lepsovich?
Thank you. I just want to congratulate Dr. Short on his bonus. It was well-deserved, and you're worth every penny. Also, I want to thank the board for a good year and a challenging year, and hoping this coming 6 months will fulfill the way we want to fulfill and help the children and the taxpayers of Kid Maryville. Thank you.
Thank you, George. Mr. Bova?
Nothing, thanks.
Mr. Dice?
Nothing.
Mr. McIntyre?
Nothing.
Mr. Galtman?
Yeah. One, I wish the best to all the future endeavors for all our graduates, wherever life takes them. Just remember, you always have a home here. During the graduation ceremony, Dr. Short mentioned a very nifty stat about how many students have graduated from Gateway. Was that, what, 40,000?
Over 26,000 graduates since 1959.
That is a lot of
It's
students.
a lot of students.
Shows that we're standing the testament of time.
It's amazing how many of our graduates have done really some incredible, outstanding achievements over their career. So I did some research on that and found that number, and I just thought it was pretty powerful.
How many are in this room?
Y'all have something in common.
So I have no doubt our graduates will contribute to our legacy. And I do want to thank Mr. Bob Brown's staff for being able to accommodate going indoors from outdoors. I can't imagine it wasn't easy, but it went off, I think, without a hitch.
Multiple times, thank you.
And I thought it was really cool with our tech department being able to simulcast the graduation both in the auditorium and the LGI so everybody can see. I'm still blown away by the fact we're able to do that. So thank you to Mike O'Brown and his crew. And
He just nodded out there.
and with that, that's all I have.
Mr. Williams?
Nothing this evening, thank you.
Mr. Kalkstein?
Doctor.
Dr. Kalkstein? Thank you. Motion to adjourn, please?
So move, second,
Second.
whatever.
All those in favor signify by saying aye. 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 Opposed, same sign?
Yeah.
Adjourn.